everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and it is that time again. If you're new to my channel, we are working on a month-long challenge. We're going to do this every month, so check out the hashtag KCDJanJJ23 and you'll see what everybody else has been playing with. There's also going to be a playlist in the description box below that you can go back and check out my other videos and see what's been going on. On Wednesdays, we draw a project stick to see what your item is that you want to be working on and adding to your journal. And I'm going to do this first, and then as promised, I have started putting pages together. And I'll explain that in a minute. So let's do our sticks first. I'll kind of swirl them around while I look across the room. And let's do this one. What did I pull for us this week? Do I want to know? Incidentally, I've not done my tag from last week, but remember, you don't have to do them in the week they're drawn. These are just items you may or may not want to include in your challenge journal. That's entirely up to you. Keep them in mind, put them with your journal, because in February we're going to start all over again. So here we go. A fussy cut image. Okay, that one shouldn't be too hard. Have my fussy cut scissors handy. And let's see. What do I have in here that I can fussy cut out? Oops! I have my tub here. Static Electricity just sent my wrapping paper trims flying across the room. I think I can set those there and they won't go anywhere. Snowflakes, ribbons. What do I have in here? I don't know if I have anything. Well, I do kind of, sort of. Now, keep in mind, with me, I'm not going to hold you to the fact you have to fussy cut with your scissors. If you want to fussy cut something with a die cut, I'm okay with that. Some people do not like to fussy cut, and I don't want you to not do something because it's not a technique you like to do. So if you don't want to fussy cut, or you have trouble fussy cutting, use a die. That is entirely up to you. I'm going to break into this fabric that I got from Dollar Tree, and which means I'm not using these fussy cut scissors. I will start with my cloth scissors, move this out of the way. And I thought I was doing snowmen, but it looks like there are gnomes in this fabric. Well, let's see. I really don't want gnomes in this fabric. I just want snowmen. So, let me rethink this here. I may have to wait until I get a hold of, because I don't have anything handy here, I don't think, to fussy cut out of. Let me get into my other tub of stuff. Stars. May have to go with our other notepad, and I don't have a lot of sheets from that. What's in here? You know what I may have? Oh, I just happened to think. I know what I may have. But it's going to require digging here for just a minute. But I think I figured it out. Graphic 45. I don't want come one, come all. Let's look at... Now, I know I had another Graphic 45 up here this morning. I had one. I did open. No, it wasn't. It was Cartbella. It was not Graphic 45. It was Cartbella. And it's called Snow Fun. Now, I do have the scrapbook pages from Stampin' Up! That I am going to be using, but there are no images in that one really to cut out. But this one has snowmen in it. I can see them. So let's pull out this. This is called Winter from Cartbella. And so let's see. Beautiful scenes. And normally I would use this all in a journal by itself. But if I can snitch a snowman out of here. Oh, here we go. We could do a snow globe. Or we could do snow people. And still not interfere with. Oh, look at this cute little game board. I could create a game for that one. That would be cool. Or we have the ornament people, but I want a snowman. Belly band. Some of these are going to have to wait for another journal. I can see that. But for now, I'm going to cut into this one and use these for images. And because I don't necessarily like this black background with the snowfall. If it was blue, that would be different. Okay, so back to our fussy cut scissors. And I'm going to use my big ones here to cut something out. And I want this blue one right up here. And his little blue. And I'll show you, not only are we fussy cutting him out, and I did not bring cheaters in here with me. This is going to be fun. I'm going to leave a little bit of that blue background. And notice that I'm not turning the paper till I get to the, or turning my scissors till I get to the edge. Letting my paper do the work. Okay, and I think I'm going to leave that blue background behind him, just like that. I had so much fun doing the items from Spectrum Art Creations Christmas craft list that I hope she'll do something like that again. It was a lot of fun. I didn't get to do as many of the items as I wanted because I was determined to finish cataloging that scrapbooking paper first. Okay, so we have a snowman, but what do we do with the snowman? Well, let's see. Let's start with, how's that size for tag for him? That will be perfect. So let's use this. And I could use that's awfully bright for him. That's awfully bright for him. Awfully bright. But if I stand him up on there, let's use this and a piece of our blue cardstock. How's that? Now that's not bad. Let's do that instead. Let's do that instead. So I don't have a die over here ready to go, so we're going to use this. And I'm just going to trace. This is a negative from where I punched out some tags for projects. And they'll work just fine. And I've got them hanging up here on the top of my camera holder, my Archon mount. And we'll just rough cut that out, just like that. Not a perfectionist. And if I don't get all those lines, I can always go back and erase them. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the solid blue to put him on. Now I do want to distress him a little bit, but I don't want to distress him with brown. I'm going to come in with Stampin' Up's Night of Navy. Could use a different blue, but this one is one I really like. It's a little darker blue, and it really creates a nice shadow. That's about out of ink. It's one of the things I have on my organization list is to go through and reorganize all of my inks, and when I do, I'm going to refill all of my ink pads. So they will be ready to go. And I'm going to leave Night of Navy over here in my cute little box. So if I need it again, I have it. Okay, now we're going to come back through. And we're going to pop him up on that tag. But let's see what we have for ribbon over here first, that we can bring in a little bit of pattern here. I don't want reindeer and snowmen and trees. I don't want the gray. I have the choice of let it snow or I have the snowflakes. And let's see, if we use one of these two, I think I like this one better. So let's pop this one open. I did pick up several of the holiday ribbons while Dollar Tree had them in. And I will be putting samples of them in my shop, hopefully by the end of this week. Things have gotten a little crazy. Of course, Bob is home, so, you know, I don't... The first weekend, I don't do anything at all except spend time with him. So I think I'm going to do that right there. And normally I would use my wet glue, but it is over there. So for this turn, let's just go ahead and use our... let's use our tape runner for heavy ribbon and heavy items from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to run this. I'm going to come up about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. I'm trying to figure out the best way for me to do this, since I don't have my glasses on and be able to see what I'm doing. I love working on my craft mat from Tim Holtz, but sometimes it's a little hard for me to see on that black. I'd have loved it, and I know why he did the black. It's his signature color that he works with. But I would love it if he'd have done it in a white with a blue. Or white with a black, so we could see what we were doing better. And I'll just stick a pin in that for right now. I did go into Dollar Tree yesterday and picked up Valentine type stuff. And I'll have ribbons to put in. I'm going to be starting to work on my Valentine stuff. Here's my Tim Holtz pick. And let's put some dimensionals on here. Dimensionals and the Tombow glue are two items that every time I put in a Stampin' Up! Order, I order these so that I always have them on hand. I do not run out. And then we'll get my garbage can up here. My little painted snack cup. And we're going to position him right there. And let's grab a punch. Don't know if I want to do the big punch or not. That's a small tag. Let's do this. Let's do the small one. Just like that. Now I do have small eyelets I could put in there. I know why they did that the way they did, but I wish that as I get older, I wish that the crocodile was a little lighter. Let's put this here. I think that will work. Tweezers. Where are my tweezers? They are not over here. Of course they're not. Which means I have to... Oh, there they are. This is so much easier to set that on there. Turn this upside down so I've got the crunch on the back side. And punch. Just like that. Kind of crunched that eyelet. It cracked it. It must have been one of the cheaper eyelets. Okay, so there's that. Now we need twine on there. And I saw twine in my box. There it is. This is the one I want to use. Kind of falls somewhere between the blue and his hat. And I'm just going to take a length off. And that one. And I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to wind that through. And then I'm going to come back around to the top and I'm going to run it back through again as best as it will let me. If you have time and you know what fibers you're going to use, if you dip the ends in a little bit of glue and give them a couple minutes to dry, that will stiffen up your ends and make it easier to poke that through. There we go. And then I'm just going to kind of pull these up to where they're about the same length. And then I'll tie them at the top. And I'm watching what I'm doing, not in the camera, so I hope I'm in frame. Just like that. Now I could have wrapped that a couple more times. There was room in the hole to do that. And there's our tag for this week. Just that simple. Okay, promised you I would show you what I had for pages where my journal is headed. So let's get these implements of construction out of our way here. And I'm going to drop my tag. Get these. I'd be glad when I get my stamps cataloged. I'll have a deeper Stampin' Up! Case to keep all my dimensionals in. So, what am I doing for pages? Well, I had to start with knowing what size my pages needed to be. So I went digging. Instead of creating a journal cover from chipboard, I went through the boxes I have saved, and I have two Bisquick boxes from where I dry canned the Bisquick for the pantry. And I do have to go back through and I have to trim them up. They're not level, but this is what I'm going to do. One just seemed a little flimsy, so I'm going to glue the two back to back. And I'm going to try and get that done today so they can be sitting and drying. So then that gave me a space for pages of about 8 by 6. So I picked out, and this is one stack. This is one journaling section, one signature. One of the, from the Stampin' Up! Page that I had, the papers that I was going to use. And I went ahead and did these 6 by 6 because this way I got 2 pieces from each 12 by 12 sheet. And then I have this. This is one of the wrapping papers that I had. This is one of the wrapping papers that I had. And if I do this, then that gives me 2 trees on either side. And this was left over from packaging. I did not cut off new rolls. And then I took 2 sheets of my thinner copy paper, standard weights from Walmart. So I'll have 2 pages of that to put in there. Here was another wrapping paper. One of my favorite things to put in my signatures is one of my flatware bags. And then I have some blue papers that I did with doilies that I dyed last summer. So I will fold this one in half, this one in half, and then this one in half. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in here. I may want to go through and pull out maybe a couple of more. I try to do about 15 per signature. 15 per signature gives me 45, no. So if I do 10, that gives me 40 pages to work with per signature because you have 4 sides. So I may go through and see if I've got another scrapbook paper in the blues. There were others in this collection, but they brought in something like a soft let's see. They gave me more of like what they called a Highland Heather, which had variations of this and variations of this Pool Party. And I didn't want those colors in this journal, though Pool Party might not have been bad, but those Pool Party, where the Pool Party showed up, also include the lavenders. And I didn't want the lavenders in this one. So I may have to go through my other Stampin' Up! Papers and see if I can find something else that will work with these blues. I worked for 2 solid weeks cataloging my Stampin' Up! Papers, and I have 150. So 150 different paper pads from Stampin' Up! I think I can find something. So that is it for us today. You're going to find and fussy cut an image and do something with it. And like I said, if you don't like to fussy cut, go right ahead and do a punch or a die. That is entirely up to you. Just so you have a quote-unquote fussy cut image that you can make something with to add to your journal. So far, we have our journaling space, our line journaling space. Remember, that was one you had to make the line journaling space. You couldn't use pre-printed lines, and we did that. Last week, we pulled the tassel of any type, and I do know part of my tassel is going to include some beadwork, because I have this beading and with these blues and these silvers here. So I know that's going to be part of my tassel. And then this week, we pulled the fussy cut image. Okay, that's it for me today. Remember, tomorrow we have Gail. We're spotlighting Gail Agostinelli, and we have a new something to play with for her. I will give you a hint. We're going to be doing a triple belly band. That's all I'm going to tell you. You'll have to come back tomorrow to see what we do. In the meantime, remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know how your journal's coming along, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Creative blessings.